Namaste mere pyare bachcho. Welcome back. I know. Exams are just around the corner and the tension is building up. But please, don't worry. Today we're going to tackle a super important chapter, social influence and group processes. And I promise you, we're going to make it bilkul simple.
Psychology is such a high-scoring subject, and trust me, this chapter is one of the easiest once you get the main ideas. So just take a nice deep breath, relax, and let's get you feeling absolutely confident for your exam. All it'll take is the next few minutes. Ready? Let's go. So here's our simple roadmap for today. We'll quickly look at what a group really is, why we even join them, how they're born and how they grow, all their different types, and finally, the most interesting part, how they affect our behavior. And of course, we have our special exam corner at the end to make sure you get full marks.
Okay, let's dive right in. What exactly is a group? You might think, oh, it's just a bunch of people. But in psychology, it's so much more than that. It's not just a random crowd of people standing on the road. Let's find out why.
Look at this definition here. It's all about three magic words: interacting, interdependent, and common motives. Just think about your school's cricket team. You all interact during practice, right? You're interdependent. I mean, if the bowler doesn't do well, the whole team can suffer. And you all share a common motive to win the match. That is what makes you a real group.
This little table here makes it crystal clear. On one side, you've got your cricket team, a real group with a common goal where everyone depends on each other and you have clear roles like captain and bowler. But on the other side, you have the audience. They're just a crowd. They're all there by chance, they're totally independent, and there are no roles. The most important thing is that feeling a group has, which is just not there in a crowd.
So, if groups are so specific, why do we even join them? Well, it's simple. Because being in a group gives us some amazing superpowers. Let's have a look at what they are. First up, security. You just feel safer and less alone when you're with your friends, right? Second, status. Come on, when you're part of the school's famous basketball team, you feel important. That's status. Third, self-esteem. Being in a good group makes you feel good about yourself. Fourth, goal achievement. Some things, like a huge science project, are just impossible to do alone. And finally, you get so much knowledge and information from others in your group. See? Total superpowers.
Now you know, groups don't just appear out of nowhere. They have a life cycle, just like us. And the best way to remember this is to think about the story of every single school group project you have ever been a part of.
Let's walk through Tuckman's stages with that group project in mind. First is forming. That's when your teacher puts you together and everyone's being all polite and nice. Then comes storming. Oh, the drama. This is when the fights start over who's the leader and whose idea is the best. After the storm, though, comes the calm of norming, where you all agree on the rules. Next up is performing. This is when the real work gets done. And finally, when the project is over, the group reaches the adjourning stage and it's time to say bye-bye. Simple, isn't it?
Okay, next up is a very, very important topic for your exam, Bot Jones, so listen carefully. We are all part of so many different kinds of groups. Let's understand the main types. First, we have primary and secondary groups. A primary group is your family, your closest friends. The relationships are really warm, emotional, and you're usually born into them. I mean, you don't choose your family, right? A secondary group is one you choose to join, like a school committee or a club. The relationships there are a bit more formal and focused on a goal. Then we have formal and informal groups. This one is super easy. A formal group has specific rules and a clear structure, like your school itself. An informal group is just your friend's circle that meets for lunch. It's formed naturally based on friendship, and there are no official rules or anything.
All right, now for the most fascinating part. How do these groups actually influence our behavior? Let's look at the good, the bad, and yes, even the lazy side of being in a group.
Have you ever heard of this term, social loafing? It's something that happens all the time. Like the definition says, it's when people put in less effort when they're working in a group, mostly because they feel like their own little contribution won't be noticed anyway. Sound familiar?
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? We have all been in that group project. While some of us are working so hard, there's always that one person who kind of gets away with doing almost nothing. Why? Because in a group, their individual effort can hide. That is a perfect real-world example of social loafing.
Next up, we have group polarization. Now, this sounds a little complicated, but it's really not. It doesn't mean the group splits into two. It actually means the group's original opinion gets much, much stronger after a discussion. For example, let's say a few friends who kind of like a new movie get together and talk about it. By the end of the conversation, they might all be convinced it's the best movie ever.
The group discussion made their views more extreme or polarized.
Okay, bachon, let's get down to business. Let's look at a question that could pop up in your exam and exactly how to write the perfect answer for it. This is where we learn how to get those full marks.
So, here's a very typical 5-mark question. How do groups influence our behavior? Now the question is, how do we structure the answer to really impress the examiner?
To get full marks, my dear students, structure is everything. Start with a short and sweet introduction, then explain your first concept, social loafing. Give the definition and use a great example like a tug-of-war game. Next, explain group polarization, again with a clear definition and an example. Finally, just wrap it all up with a neat little conclusion. Following this simple intro, body, conclusion structure is the secret to getting full marks.
So, for a super quick recap, what are the most important words to remember from today? Remember the definition of a group, the idea of social loafing, your lazy friend in the project, and group polarization, making opinions stronger. These are the absolute core ideas.
And that's a wrap. See, I told you it was simple. You are now fully prepared with this chapter. You've totally got this, my dear students. All the very, very best for your exams. Revise well, stay calm, and just be confident. You are going to do wonderfully.